Thank you everybody for joining us for our Stepping Up with Confidence exercise demonstration. Stepping Up with Confidence is a program that provides exercise programs to older adults with all abilities, and they're led by volunteer peer leaders such as myself and Corey. Physical activity programs like this improve overall health and promote active, healthy, and independent lives. My name is Carol, and I am a volunteer peer leader with Active Aging in Manitoba. I will be doing the demonstration today with no or minimal modifications, and with me is Corey, and she will be doing the modifications while seated. So we're going to jump right in. What I want to say first is that don't forget to breathe while we're moving through these exercises. Sometimes we tend to hold our breath. Make sure you grab some water if you need it, but keep your water bottle away so you don't trip on it or you don't spill your water. Also, if you have any weights with you, we want to make sure you keep those either under your chair or away from you so that you make sure that they're safe. Your weights are behind, so you're good. Alrighty, we're going to start in, and we're going to take 3 deep breaths. Reach in through your nose, all the way into your belly, and out through your mouth. I'm not breathing through my nose because I can't talk and breathe through my nose at the same time. And out through your mouth. And one more. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Then we're going to start with a march. We're going to start marching, and then we're going to add, touching our fingers. We're going to start with the index finger, the middle finger, the ring finger, and the pinky, and go back and forth. We really need to keep our fingers mobile. We do so many things in a day with our hands. It's really important to keep them exercising as well as everything else. Whether you're writing or typing, knitting, cutting your steak, it's important to keep that finger strength up. Perfect. You guys are awesome. Okay, for the next one, we're going to do front, side, back together. If you want to keep marching for a few minutes while I demonstrate the move, you can keep doing that. So we're going to do front, side, back, together. Front, side, back, together. If you want to move your arms, feel free to move your arms during this. I find this one's a little bit harder movement to have arm movement with. Front, side, back, together. You can also pick up the pace if you want to. Again, it's whatever you're able to do. Only keep the range of motion as much as you're able to without losing your balance. Perfect. And last 2. And set yourself up again and switch sides. So again, front, side, back, together. If you need to hold a chair for balance, feel free to do so. You can have one right close by because you don't want to lose your balance. Again, go as slow or as fast as you're able to. Front, side, back, together. And again, you can pick up the pace if you want. Keeping your standing leg bent a little bit. We want to keep our standing leg bent a little bit so we don't hyperextend our knee. 3 more. Last 2. And last 1. Perfect. So we're going to move into toe taps with arm circles. So we're just going to start with our toe taps, and then we're going to add our arm circles. Big arm circles. We're going to do them both directions, so it doesn't matter which one you start with. If you're not able to move your arms in a full circle because you have some shoulder issues, it's okay just to do nice small shoulder circles with your arms down and bent. Perfect. 2 more here. And switch directions. Keep doing your toe taps to the front. Nice big movements. Get those shoulders nice and warmed up. Perfect. And just go back into a march, and I'm going to demonstrate our last warm-up exercise. We're going to step to the side and reach up, and then we're going to bring it all back down and do it on the other side. So reach and step, reach and step. This is important. We want to keep being able to reach. Lots of times there's things in high cupboards. We want to be able to reach them. Maybe you're picking the apple tree. Nice red apples for your applesauce in the fall. And again, if you want, you can pick up the pace only as much as you're able to. Again, if you're seated in the chair like Corey, you may not be able to step out to the side as much, and you might want to decrease your range of motion a little bit. Perfect. 4 more on each side. Last 3, and 2, and last 1. Fabulous. Okay, keep marching. Grab a sip of water. Again, make sure you put it out of the way, and we're going to move into our cardiovascular and balance. So we're going to do step together, step touch. So we're going to move to one side and then the other. If you're seated in the chair, you'll be following along with Corey. And remember, your range of motion might not be as big when you're sitting on the chair. So you're going to go step together, step, touch. Step together, step, touch. Step together, step, touch. I'll slow it down a little bit just so you can see the motion before you start increasing your speed. And again, if this speed is comfortable for you, you just stay right here and you don't have to increase your speed. Oh, sorry, Corey, I'm standing right in front of you. Move your arms while you're in your cardiovascular. That helps increase the cardiovascular. Anytime we have arm movement when we're doing our exercises, it helps increase that cardiovascular system. Excellent. Last 2. And 1 more each direction. Perfect. Now just keep marching while I demonstrate the next one. So this is a cross-country ski. If you've cross-country skied before, this motion might be familiar to you. If not, I'm going to just walk through it really slowly. So you're going to step your one foot back and your opposite arm is going to come forward. So you can pretend you're holding a pole in your hand. Then you're going to come together and you're going to step back with your opposite foot and your other hand is going to come forward. And then together. So you're going to keep going like this, alternating legs. So just like you were cross-country skiing. Again, you want to maintain whatever speed you're able to perform. We want to make sure you're not losing your balance. So if you want to do the stepping back while you're holding a chair, that's okay too, instead of having the arms included. And again, you can pick up the pace if you need to, or if you want to. Oh, it's always good to challenge ourselves a little bit. And then again, once you've sped up a little bit, if you find you need to slow down again, it's all right to slow down whenever you need to. Fabulous. Okay, we're going to go to a march and move to our next cardio, which is our V step. So we're going to step out wide and then back narrow. So we're going to go wide, wide, narrow, narrow. Wide, wide, narrow, narrow. We want to have some hand movement again, increasing our cardiovascular every time we have the hands in. Perfect. And we're going to switch our lead foot now. We're going to switch and do the other one. We always want to make sure we're switching halfway through whatever number you decide to do. We're going to switch halfway through. Perfect. You guys are awesome. And we're going to do 2 more. Great. Okay. Just marching in place. We're going to do a hamstring curl and chest press. So our hamstring curl first. I'm going to turn sideways a little bit. So we're going to step and bring our heel up to our buttock without falling over like I just about did. So if you want the chair, you can hold the chair for balance. But we want to add the chest press. So you're going to bring your arms up to 90 degrees and push out at the same time. So as your leg comes up, you bring your arms back. And if you want, again, you can increase your speed. I find this one sometimes a little bit easier to do if I do it a little bit faster. And again, you want to make sure that your leg is not getting straightened all the way. You want to keep that little micro bend in your knee. We're going to do 4 more of these. Last 2. And last 1. Wonderful. I'm just going to move the weights out of the way so I don't trip. Next, we're going to do walking forwards and walking backwards. When you're in the chair, you're going to go forward and back, but probably only for like 2 steps at a time, because obviously you can't walk out of the chair. Well, I guess you could. So we're going to start and go forward, 2, 3, 4, back, 2, 3, 4, forward, 2, 3, 4, back, 2, 3, 4. It's really good for practicing backwards walking. It's not something we do all the time, so we have to stop and think about it, so it's good for our mind, really good for our balance. We want to maintain that balance. Perfect. Again, you want to add those arms in. And forward and back one more time. And last time. Perfect, great job. So we're going to go back similar to the warm-up one we did with shifting our weight side to side and reaching up and across. So again, reach and come down. Reach, pull across. You really want to engage your core, your muscles along the side here. As we get older, we can't always rely on somebody being around to help us get stuff, reach stuff in those upper cupboards. So we want to really work on our core being nice and strong. Keep your leg, again, just bent slightly. If you're in the chair, again, you might not be able to step out quite as much. 2 more on each side. And last one. We're just going to go into a march, and we're going to go into our cardio cool down. But first I'm going to have a sip of water. Make sure you grab some water if you need to. So we're going to start with just front toe taps, nice and slow. In our cool down, we want our heart rate to come down. We want our breathing to slow down. With our heart rate coming back to normal, we're going to prevent blood pooling by not just stopping the exercise. So anytime you do any kind of cardiovascular, you want to make sure that you do a cool down. You don't want any blood pooling in the extremities that could cause you to faint. So just nice and slow. Natural arm movements. You don't deliberately move your arms here. And then we're going to move into side to side step. So just side to side. Again, nice and slow. No deliberate arm movements. Nice and slow. Deep breaths, just like we did in the warm-up. Nice deep breaths into your belly. Perfect. Breathe out. Get all that oxygen back going to all the parts of your body, your fingers and your toes. All those muscles that worked hard during the cardiovascular portion. And then we're going to move into a V-step. Nice and slow. You should start feeling your heart rate come down. Your breathing slow to a more normal pace. Again, just natural arm movements. We don't want to deliberately move our arms. Big deep breaths. Excellent. Just going to move to toe taps again. Make sure our heart rate's down. Big deep belly breaths. Perfect. And step side to side. Again, no intentional arm movements. Just that natural swinging motion that you get when you're moving. Perfect. And into a V-step. So wide and back. Keep breathing. I know I say that a lot, but it's really important. Sometimes when we're concentrating so much on a movement, we do forget to breathe. So it's really important to keep breathing. Excellent. Okay, now we're going to be moving into the cardiovascular portion. Alrighty, not the cardiovascular portion, we just did that. We're going to move into muscle strength and endurance. So weights are optional here. If you don't have weights at home, you could use a couple of tin cans, just make sure that they're the same weight. You could use a couple water bottles, make sure you put water in them. It has to be something that you can hold your hand around comfortably. You don't want something so large that it's difficult to hold. And it's okay to do the muscle strength and endurance without weights as well. So we are going to be, Corey will be seated again the whole time. We're going to start with bicep curls. So we're going to start with our legs about hip width apart. So you want a nice steady stance so you don't topple over. We're going to keep our elbows pressed to the sides, and we're going to come up, 2, 3, and down, 2, 3. You want nice, slow, deliberate movements here. You don't want gravity to help pull your arms down. You want to be the one in control. You also want to make sure that you're not bringing your arm all the way fully extended at the bottom. Keep the tension on that bicep. If it's too much, you can do singles. So just do one arm at a time. Count nice and slow. So you want to keep that counting to 3 in your mind so that you're not going too quickly. Perfect. Couple more. And last one. Great. Next we're going to do the tricep extension. So that's the muscle in the back of your arm. You're going to, again, keep a little bit of a wide stance to keep you balanced. And you're going to just lean forward a little bit. Keep your elbows right at your sides. And then you're going to come back just from the elbow and in. You want your weights facing forwards and back, not sideways like this, forwards and back. And just the movement from your elbow backwards, and you're going to feel that in your tricep. Keep your posture nice with your back straight, your neck parallel. Again, if you need to do them singly, you can do them singly. And we're going to do 2 more here. And last one. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, we're going to move into side arm raises. So we're going to stand again with our feet hip width apart. And we're going to have our shoulders relaxed away from our ears. You don't want your shoulders up here. You want them nice and relaxed. And you're going to bring your weights up to just below shoulder height. And again, count your slow, deliberate movements. 1, 2, 3, down, 2, 3, up, 2, 3, down, 2, 3. It's really important not to start with too heavy a weight in any of these exercises with weights, because you don't want to have an injury by starting with too much weight. So better to start with no or very low weight, like a 1 pound weight, until you get really used to it and comfortable. And there's nothing wrong with starting with the low weights, going up, and then if you find the heavier weight too much, switch back down to your lower weight or no weight. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, I want you to put your weights out of the way so it's safe. And we're going to do calf raises. So I'm going to use the chair for this one so I don't topple over. And Corey's going to be seated to do the calf raises. We're going to come up on our toes, like you're putting on Barbie shoes, and back down. Again, nice and slow and controlled. You don't want gravity helping pull your legs down to your heels down to the floor. Nice and slow. If you want an extra challenge, you can keep your heel just off the ground when you're coming down, and that's just going to give you a bit more of a challenge. But if you're more comfortable, you can come right down and then rise back up onto your toes. And we're going to do 2 more of these. Perfect. We're going to move on to side leg raises. So first I'll demonstrate seated, like Corey will be doing. So when you're seated, you're going to be up on the edge of your chair, nice straight back. And what you're going to do for this one is you're going to move your leg from the hip and you're going to move it straight out to the side and back in. So the motion just comes from the hip and engages that inner thigh muscle. If you're doing it standing, you're going to raise your leg out to the side and then back down. So you want to do this again, slow and controlled, use your counting. You want your foot flexed. If you need to, you can rest your foot on the ground when you come down, or for the extra challenge, you can leave it off the ground. Only lift your leg as high as you can without leaning sideways. If you lean over, then you're taking that movement out of your hips. So you just want to do it without moving the upper torso. And 2 more on this side. And last one. Perfect. And switch sides. And again, if you're seated, you're just going to have your leg at 90 degrees and move it out to the side like that. You don't want your torso to move. You want to stay nice and straight. Only lift as high as you can without moving your torso over. Perfect. You guys have got this. You're awesome. And last 2. And last 1. Fabulous. Give yourself a little shake out. Move the chair out of the way. Now we're going to go into our mini squats. So Corey will be doing a seat to stand. So she's going to do a couple things. She's going to start with a sit to stand, but not all the way standing. So if you're having difficulty, if you don't have the strength in your legs and your core muscles yet, then you're just going to tighten everything up, put the weight in your heels, and you're going to lift yourself forward on the chair, but not right off the chair. Or you might lift yourself just a couple inches off and come down until you can start building up that strength in your quads. Then she'll be tightening everything up and coming right to standing, and then sit back down. So that will be the sit to stand. I will be doing the squat, the mini squat. So it's not a squat all the way down, it's only part way down. So we're going to start by going down and up. When you're doing a squat, you want to make sure that your weight is in your heels. Your knees should never extend past your toes. Again, keep your shoulders relaxed, away from your ears. If you're for an extra challenge, you can hold here for a few seconds and then come back up. Quad strength is really important. Sitting to standing is something we do all the time. We might not have somebody helping us at home. So think of how many times you go from sitting to standing in a day or standing to sitting, and that's why it's important to keep that strength in our legs. If you have really bad knees, it also, that quad strength helps with the support in our knees. And 1 more. Perfect. And we'll both be seated for this next one, which is a reach forward. So we are going to be sitting on the edge of our chair, nice straight back, good posture, chin parallel with the floor, arms out in front, or if you need that extra support, you can have your hands on your thighs. And you're going to reach forward, tightening that core muscles, and then coming back up to sitting, making sure all those core muscles are tight when you're going. And lean forward, breathe out. Don't forget to breathe. It's easy for me. It's hard to not talk it's hard to not breathe when you're talking. And tighten all your core muscles and come back to sitting. Those core muscles are really important for us. Keeps our balance when we're sitting, when we're walking on an uneven surface. We know how those uneven surfaces are, especially this time of year with all the frost coming out of the ground. 2 more. And last one. Excellent. Grab some water if you need it. And we're going to move into our flexibility. So we're going to start with our tricep stretch. So we're going to take our arm out in front of us and we're going to move it across our body. You can hold on, don't push your arm, but hold it for support, either behind your elbow, in front, but not on your elbow. You never want to push on a joint. So you just want to move it so you can feel that stretch right back here in your tricep. We're going to keep our shoulders away from our ears. Always make sure you're not tensed up like this. We want to make sure that those are away and we're breathing deep. Breathe all the way into that stretch. Nice big breaths. And lower that arm and your other one out in front and pull the other across. So again, in front or behind. Typically you want to hold a stretch for over 20 seconds. The first 10 seconds of your stretch, the muscle's going to be still tense. It's going to be trying to protect itself. After that 10 seconds, it's going to go, oh, I can relax. They're not trying to hurt me. So then that's why it's important to hold our stretches for as long as we can. Perfect. Nice big breaths all the way into those muscles. They worked hard for you today. And lower that arm. We're going to move into our low back stretch. So Corey is going to be seated for this one. I will be standing, but I will be holding the chair for balance. You could do this if you have really good balance. You can do it without the chair, but better to have the balance. So we're going to lift our knee up and grab behind the knee in here or on the shin. Never grab your knee. So we're going to pull up, flex our foot. Again, shoulders away from the ears. Nice big breaths. Feel that stretch in your lower back. Again, if you want to challenge yourself, you can let go of the chair, but only if you're able to without losing balance. More important to have the form and the support than to topple over or to hurt ourselves because we're straining a muscle. And lower. And other side. Again, nice big breaths. Always want to breathe. Shoulders away from the ears. Thinking about that muscle you're stretching. Maybe stretching it a little more with every exhale. Perfect. Now we're going to move on to the hip stretch. It's also called a figure four. And you want to have, depending on your flexibility, you might have your leg crossed at the ankle, at the shin, or above the knee. So again, depending what your flexibility is will depend where you go. In the chair when you're seated like Corey, you're going to keep your back straight and you're going to lean forward over top of your leg, only resting your hand on your leg. You're not going to pull on your leg. And you're going to lean over until you find that stretch right in your hip. For standing, you're going to squat down on your one leg. Again, hold the chair for balance, and you'll feel that stretch in your hip. Keep a nice straight back, big breaths. Imagine taking that breath, swirling it around in that muscle to let it go. Give your muscles permission to relax by breathing deep into them. Nice, and up. And switch sides, again, either at your ankle, at your shin, or above your knee. I will demonstrate this one, this time just at my shin. Again, you're going to lean over till you feel that stretch in the side of your hip. We carry a lot of tension in our hips all the time, so it's really important to keep our hips stretched out. I find I sleep better at night if I do my hip stretches before I go to bed. Remember, nice big breaths. Couple more breaths here. And stand up nice and slow. Excellent. We're going to move to an upper back stretch. So we're going to put our hands out in front of us. We're going to clasp our hands and we're going to push our palms away from our body. Again, you're going to lower your shoulders down so your shoulders aren't hunched. If you lower your shoulders down, that's going to help you pull out your back muscles. Really feel like you're pulling those shoulders apart on your upper back. If you can't stretch your arms out all the way straight, that's okay. You can have them just bent until you feel that stretch in your back. Nice big breaths here. And when you can raise your arms up above your head. And again, you're going to feel that stretch on your back, pulling your shoulder blades apart. Excellent. Perfect. And unclasp your hands and lower. And we're just going to go into a chest opener. So if you're seated, you can grab the rungs of the chair. If you're able to, you can clasp your hands behind your back and stretch. So it'll look like this. It's really important to open our chest and really stretch our chest. We do so many things seated and hunched over, computer work, crafts, knitting, reading, eating supper, cooking supper, all those things. It really tightens up our chest muscles. So sometimes we have something that's bothering us like a shoulder, and it's our chest muscles that are so tight. So we really need to make sure we open those up and stretch them out nice. Big deep breaths, shoulders away from your ears. Excellent. And slowly release. And give yourself a big round of applause. You guys did awesome. Thank you so much for joining us with Stepping Up with Confidence and Active Aging in Manitoba. See you next time.